One of the things we know as friends from ERPN is that youth unemployment in Spain is a huge problem, a really huge problem. Do you see in your parts of the country, in Andalusia or in Galicia, some change for the better?
I can't see any change to to better unemployment. There is.
There's not a youth movement in ERPN or something.
We try, but people now is so so slow. They don't fight. They just sit in front of the PC or mobile phones and protest in Facebook. But when it's time to go in the streets, people don't move.
That's difficult. But you brought last year to this conference a huge, well, it was a kind of light tower to show us what youth unemployment means in your parliament.
The light tower was the fight for civil rights, for social rights, and it's the lighthouse that will drive to better social rights. But Galicia has a special form because there are 7 big cities in Galicia, but most of the population, the 90% of the territory is countryside, is rural territory. It's true that the autonomous government, the Xunta de Galicia, is trying to develop more the rural territory, the countryside, but youngsters are leaving the countryside, are leaving to, or even to the big 7 cities of Galicia, Vigo, Coruña, Santiago, Ourense, Lugo, Ferrol,
but they don't even find a job over there.
In the countryside, it's very difficult because there are no opportunities of job. In fact, the countryside, the rural territory, is older and older in age. Every year, more age. The pyramid of age, probably the population of the villages, the small villages in Galicia, is over 60 years old. So there is a phenomenon of
ghost towns.
In one side, trying to develop more the rural countryside, but in the other side, youngsters are leaving this territory. So,
what is your solution for Spain as a whole? Do you have a solution as ERPN, as organization, as person, for a change? And it's not a question of if we have jobs, because if we have jobs, we will have more people being working poor.
No, we need to rule the labor market more than what we have, because laws now are in the side of the companies, and the worker is isolated, is abandoned.
Would it help if you had a minimum wage like we have in the Netherlands? A legal, a statutory minimum wage? All over the country?
Do you mean a basic?
No, minimum wage. Yes, there is a minimum wage established as law.
Now,
in fact, the current government, the socialist government, is trying to increase the minimum wage to 900 euros per in 2019. The problem, I think, is not the minimum wage only. The problem is to create an inclusive labor market. That's the meaning. That's the real meaning of the labor market. Only the 2% of the jobs are provided in Spain by the intermediation of public employment services. The 2% of the total of the jobs. So, what is that a public employment service useful?
I don't know.
No.
But what is the role of EAPN? Because in the Netherlands, we as EAPN work together with public authorities, the ministry, etc. And I know that you are working with the Ministry of Social Affairs
Yes.
to discuss a change. But to discuss a change, we have to bring forward our own ideas, our own proposals.
But we have a trouble in Spain by now till 2 years onwards. The political situation in Spain is very complex. It's very complex by now, not only with the internal affairs we have with with our territory and Catalonia troubles, but also we have a parliament very fragmented, very sparse, and we don't have a tradition of pacting upon the political parties. We haven't had coalition governments in Spain since since the dictatorship of Franco finished. So it's very difficult. It's very difficult to have coalition governments in Spain.
It's a great achievement for democracy. The last question. What could you as EAPN, or we as EAPN Europe, together with you, offer for a change? Except, I mean, I don't talk about jobs and a lot of money, but the discussion. We need to be involved in the discussion for the change. What do you need?
It's very important, the view of people who suffer underemployment, and poverty, because they know what's happening, what's wrong. We are part of those people, and we are the voice of those people too. And in APM, we can make in APM we can speak for those people and try to make understand politicians what's happening, what are the problems, and sorry.
Do you provide courses or training courses or capacity building to educate the people who are living in poverty, to help them to establish own groups, to help them to get involved?
I'm sorry, but I'm overqualified and I don't think...
No, just
so,
within EAPN as a network.
As a network.
Are there training courses for people being poor?
No. EAPN in Spain is dedicated moreover to political incidents, but not is involved in training skills. Is involved in participation of people experiencing poverty, it's true.
Which means if you are involved in participation,
a PAP meeting in Spain, it seems groups of involvement and participation on every EAPN of every autonomous community, but EAPN by itself don't provide courses of formation of training skills, training for skills. No,
I'm not talking about jobs. I'm talking about how to participate. Do you give them building how to participate?
No. The participation is one pillar of EAPN Spain.
But
really, we
can train how to participate.
It's a big pillar, but it's very difficult to train how to participate. It's true that our national meeting is very successful every year, with great participation, great involvement, and a great number of people experiencing poverty. But the participation meetings in every EAPN of every territory of every autonomical community depends. It flows it has a very big gap between autonomous communities.
The reason that I ask is
Andalusia and Galicia has very good regional participation meetings. EAPN Andalusia and EAPN in Galicia probably are with Comunitat Valenciana and Basque Country, the 4 regional participation meetings more successful.
Yeah, but the reason why I ask is, firstly, this is a conference about education, and if you don't educate ourselves and our own people, you know, it's difficult to say to the others what they're doing wrong. The second question, the reason is I ask it, I know that you said at the peer review in Madrid about social inclusion,
Yes.
Please, can we have this kind of client councils in our communities?
Yes.
And we train the client councils. We guide the client councils as also as
The
CPM.
problem of the political authorities are not very receptive to be trained. You know, the self-pride and wow, I do the things quite better, and I don't have any need to be trained about foreign experiences or European experiences. And this is why it's happening some things in Spain. That's true. I'd like to receive your model in the Netherlands with councils that I saw in the peer review. I would like very much, but our political authorities are looking for the votes, not for the interest of the community.
Yes, of course. Okay, thank you.